All right, with much persistence comes this video. Thank you all so much for the following. I made a promise to this friend here, anti-Westerner. I said if 100 new people follow this account, then webbo, I'll make this freaking video. If you know me well enough, you know that I hesitate with the ISTJ. And because you guys did it, then I have to follow through. So here we go. All right, the ISTJ and the ENFJ compatibility. Now, I don't know the situation here, if this is a lover situation or a friendship situation or somebody engaged and now you're like spooked. So let's just go down the upper stack and see how we go. Play it by ear. Generally speaking, the stereotypes for these two are the ISTJ is the cop. Like literally, look it up. The ISTJs are the stereotypical police officers. And the ENFJs are the protagonist, the main character, the big sibling, the big brother, the big sister. The one everybody kind of looks up to for the comfort and the support. So right off the bat, stereotypically, you can see that these two would have they're both J's, right? So they both have this like wall that they hit when it comes to rules. Whacked myself in the chin there. They both abide by the rules, which is where they get along there because every other letter so far is different. When you have one letter being the same, there's a lot of differences on the other sides. In other words, one's quiet, one's reserved, one's very strict, one is bubbly and can be spontaneous, loud, boisterous, kind of just very much there. The main character, the one everybody kind of like, hey, and the ISTJ is like, oh, mind the rules. So you have these two in the same room together, what do you do? Do you hang out with the ENFJ or do you hang out with the ISTJ? Probably the ENFJ. ISTJ is gonna be like very watching you in every way. And that's nothing against the ISTJ, that's kind of just what they do. For us extroverts and feelers like myself, we tend to get intimidated by the ISTJ because they're very cold. They're not very bubbly. Though they want to be, there's this element that they kind of want to be like, you know, loving and warm. But there's so many rules and walls with the ISTJ that it's really hard for them to just be that way. And I think that that's why this ISTJ is gravitating towards the ENFJ. So if you look down their stack, technically speaking, getting to this part now, the ISTJ's general function is tradition, rules, memory, routine. This is why their dominant function is like why they're really good at rule keeping you in line. SI to TE, that's the combination of efficiency in teaching and just rawr, but quiet rawr, like it's ISTJ. But the ENFJ is very different because their dominant function is how you feel. Are you okay? Are you okay? They're like puppy dogs. And then they do NI, which means this is what keeps them in line is their big vision. So I have a friend who's an ENFJ and he's a great director. He likes going out and making big movies and he brings everybody together to do that. Very much a community person. Whereas the ISTJ does what the community wants on an individual level. That's why a police officer can go out and do their own thing, but follow the big rule. So really the ENFJ would be like the big picture version in this relationship, I would assume, and the ISTJ would keep that in check. Then you got the third functions for these guys, the awkward function, the child function. The ENFJ would be very like playfully present and not very much there, be kind of like, okay, yeah, okay, right. That's because they're a TI inferior as well. So they second check themselves on their brain and their thoughts and their ideas and their accuracy and their logic all the time. Whereas the ISTJ would be very much like, nope, this. And that would really keep the ENFJ in line. Likewise, the ESTJ is an FI child, if I recall, which means that they're very childishly black and white. Like, nope. Or yes, like they're very definitive answers, yes or no. And that can be great for the ENFJs. We need both these personalities in our communities. Makes this world well-rounded, you know? But I digress. This is going to be a long video, I apologize. There's just so much to these personality types, especially together. The final thing that I'll say for the ISTJ is their fourth function. The one that they're very intimidated about. They just, that is the NE function, the scattered function, the connect the dots idea, extroverted intuition, which means this is why that they're very like, this is the rule. ENFJs are like, this is the path. So now you have this is the path, this is the rule, keeps it together combination. But then they're intimidated by the don't get off track. And so is the ENFJ, they're very critical of that. Which is why I think big picture, this could be a good duo. The only thing I would worry about is, well, the friendships around these two would be very diverse, I would think. Because again, the EP types might be intimidated because we like chaos. And this would be a very together pair. I think this pair would be a very community-based helping pair only because they're very reliable. I would think they'd be very reliable. So I hope that helps. I mean, again, you can make any relationship work. This is just kind of how that upper four, we didn't even go to the shadow stacks, how that would work in this relationship. So hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for the long video, but I'd like to go into depth with these. Any other requests, please let me know. Love you all. I'm Eric Osmond. I'm having some new songs come out. You should go check that out on any platform. And thanks for joining us. Happy New Year.